All right, 8.1, solving equations with rational coefficients. It sounds scarier than what it is. But first we should talk about what some of these things mean. You know what a rational number is and you know what a coefficient is. What's a coefficient? Jackson? Yeah, so like the number with a variable. Like if I have this is my coefficient, okay? Good, so the number with the variable. What about rational number? Anybody remember what a rational number is? This has been on 2 of your tests, I believe. What's a rational number? Yep. Okay, what's the true definition, Ava? That's an irrational number. You're right for irrational number. A rational number is the opposite of what you said. It can be turned into a fraction, okay? So anything we deal with today are going to be decimals and fractions, okay? Maybe some whole numbers included, but for the most part, decimals and fractions is what it is. So how is this going to work? I split this up into 2 sections, decimal equations and fraction equations. So first we're going to just discuss decimal equation. We'll do a few examples so you can see. And then we'll do some fraction equations, and then we'll do some examples. And that's pretty much it for today. Just doing these 2 things. No, you cannot use your calculator today because for the most part, everything turns out to be just fine, and you have to know how to divide, remember how to divide and multiply and things like that. So this is 4.2x equals negative 52.5. Yep, so you got to do it to both sides, remember? So let's just take a step back. Solving an equation, the goal is to have the variable by itself on one side, okay? And if I have 4.2 times x, I have to find a way to get rid of 4.2. And really, I'm going to do the opposite, okay? Remember if you solve problems like this, x plus 3 equals 9. Remember we did this last year? We did the opposite. The same thing that's happening today, all right? So to get rid of multiplication, I'm going to do division. Now, you have to show me your steps because when we get to about lesson 8.5 and 8.6, if you're not used to showing your steps, you're going to be completely all over the place. So you have to get in the habit of showing what you're doing. If I do it to one side, what's the rule? I got to do it to the other side, correct. So divide by 4.2. Now, you might actually have to write this out in a problem. What number is going to go into the house? The number on top always goes in the house. That is just a general rule, always on top. So 52.5 divided by 4.2. Now, when I divide with a decimal, what's the next thing I have to worry about? I have to move my decimal out, right? So if I move it one space here, you're finding out that this is a common rule, you got to do it to the other one. Okay, there it is. I'm going to extend my house. It's a good idea to, as soon as you move that decimal, put it directly on the top, because then when you have an answer, there's no guessing of where that decimal goes. Okay, there's no guessing. So now I'm going to start doing my division. 42 doesn't go into 5, but 42 goes into 52. Uno times. Minus 42, I get 10. And then I'm going to bring my 5 down. 42 times what? Probably 2. 4, 84. Okay, goes in 2 times. Minus 84. 10, 21, and then a 0. So I'm going to bring a 0 down. 42 times 5. Is that right? Look at that. 210. So x is going to equal 12.5, 12.5. Like I said, all your division today isn't going to be too strenuous. For the most part, I'll even look at your homework. For the most part, it either stops in the tenths or is a whole number. Okay? So none of your division is going to be too crazy. If it gets to the point where it's you're 3 spaces out, 4 spaces out, and you're not getting the answer, then you got to go back and recheck something because it didn't come out correctly. But for the most part, everything is either in the tenths or a whole number. Okay? Fair enough? All right. Let's do one more of these. Which one do you want to do? You choose. That one? All right. Let's see. Let's see if Gabe's guess is right, shall we? Let's see. See if Gabe's guess is correct. so you can remember. Another thing you have to make sure is that your signs are correct too. You gotta make sure your signs, positives and negatives are correct. What's that? Was there a negative in there? Did I miss it? Yep, should have been the negative then. Look at me. Not practicing what I'm preaching. So are you guys happy with Gabe's choice? I'm interested to hear. You are? All right. Let's see. That's neat. Oh, yes, thank you. What am I doing? 209 times 2. Oh, geez. Good job, Gabe. X or Y, it's going to be 12. It's a positive this time because I have 2 negatives that I'm working with. So, wow. I don't know what the other one was. Now I'm curious. I'll check what it was. I'll tell you if it was a better one of the two. 19.6 divided by 5.6. Just 3.5, 3.5. Would have been probably the same amount of work. No, no. This was way easier. You would have to do the same for 3.5 too. It was still 2 numbers. All right, let's go to fraction. Wait, does anybody have any questions on how to do this? Any questions? Okay, let's go to the fraction one because that's what I'm most worried about. I'm most worried about the fraction type. Before we do any division with fractions, I was just going to ask that. What's the rule that you have to follow, Jackson? Keep, change, flip. Yep. So remember that today. Now, what I want to do first is I want to do this one first. I want to do this one later. Okay? I'm going to come back to him. I want to do this one first. So I have 5, 6 times x. What am I going to do to get rid of my 5, 6? What am I going to do to get rid of my 5, 6? Yep, I'm going to divide, or I can do the opposite. Yep. There's a few ways you can do it. You can decide. You can either go like this, times it by 6 over 5, because that's going to cancel it out. Okay. And then you can also do this, times this by 6 over 5, and then do your multiplication. Okay. That's like dividing and then keep, change, flipping. It's the same thing. So if you want to do it that way, and then you can reduce by a lot here. Goes in with 2, goes in 3 times, 2 goes in 4 times. It's really going to be 3/4. Yep. So if you want to do it that way, does everybody understand how I did that? I'll go back again and talk about it quickly. Let me reiterate. If I want to get rid of this, I can times by 6 over 5. That's going to cancel it out. Because really what happens is that becomes a 1 then. You want me to show you that way? I'll show you that way too. Let me show you. Divide by 5, 6. Yep, I can cross it out. I can also divide by 5, 6 here. This actually looks like this though. 5/8 times 6 over 5, and that was the same thing that I did at the beginning. So you can do either way you want. If there's a better way that you like, if you like this way, I actually like this way because you can see what's happening, but it's up to you. And then you're going to get the same answer regardless. What do we have, 3/4? Yep. So regardless, if you want to divide and show that, just remember if you do this way, you got to flip this and change your sign to multiply. Okay, so it's up to you of what you want to do. The reason why I waited to do this one is because this one, every year I have kids get these wrong. Come back. How did I put that so far up there? Okay. So what am I going to do first? I'm going to divide or multiply by 4 over 1. I'm going to do it this way. Okay? See you later. Then I have students go like this. What's the matter? Oh. Oh my gosh, what's happening to me? I'm falling apart. I'm literally falling apart. I thought this was the F one. But that's okay. Yep, divide by 9. Thank you. Jeez. I've literally taught this lesson. This is my 3rd time today. You think I'd have it figured out by now. This is literally the 3rd time. Divide by 9. A lot of people don't remember what they put with 9 to make it a fraction. Okay, yep, on the bottom. And then 1/4 times 1 over 9 if you're flipping, and then it'd be 1/36 for your answer. Okay, there was one I really wanted to show. Not that one. Not those. I want to show one that looks like this. I'll come back to that. I want to show one that looks like this. Let's do 1/4 equals 3/5 x. Notice how, and this is what I was trying to get to before, notice that your x and your equal sign, they're other sides, right? So it's flipped. This is what I have happen so much, and I know it happened last year. So let's say you're going to divide by 3/5. Okay, it goes away. Then for some unknown reason, this is what students do. They go like this. Why is this incorrect? Larissa. Yeah, sometime along the line. But why would this be incorrect? What is it giving me the idea of? I gotta have 1/4 on the top. 1/4 has to come first. So if you don't do that, if you go like this, that's going to tell you what has to come first. So then, no. Yeah, that's what they would do, but we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. We're going to keep it consistent like this. Yep. So if you have it on the other side, I don't know, it happens all the time where people get weird and they go like this, and then things, see how this was not set up the same way? You get a different answer if it's not set up the correct way. So it has to be set up the right way. Any questions on that? Yeah, this is it for today. Enjoy it because it's going to get harder. What? You want me to do this one? This one? One like this? Okay, if you have one like this, it has to change to an improper fraction, right? To be able to multiply and stuff, you have to have an improper fraction. So it will be 51 over 10, you are correct, equals 9/10 m. And I think there's a lot of reducing that can happen here, which is kind of nice. And then you do your division, divide by 9/10. Divide by 9/10, or 51 over 10 times 10 over 9. And notice you can do a lot of reducing. 3 might even go into 51. I think 3 does, but I think it's 17 times. But goes in once, goes in once. So it'll be 51 over 9. And then I really like it. This isn't wrong, but I like it when you make it a mixed number, okay? Because what does 51 over 9 mean? Anybody have an idea? No. When you get a mixed number, you at least can see a whole number with it. Like, what is it even close to? So 51 divided by 9 goes in 5 times. 45, 6/9, and then it'd be 5 and 2/3. You are right. I reduce this. I subtract this. 51 minus 45 is 6. And then I bring that down, and then that becomes your fraction. Yep. Yep. Let's see, what else was I going to tell you guys? I think that's it. I think that's all I was going to tell you. Oh, this is what I was going to talk about too. Let me make sure that I know what I'm talking about here. That would be good, right? Okay. Yep. So hold on. So when I have something like this, remember when we talked about putting together things we could put together? So -2 times 6 would be -12y equals 144. Then you solve for your y. Divide by -12, divide by -12. Y is going to be -12. Yep. Same thing here. Put them together. 9x, not multiply, we're adding, right? This is multiplying, this is adding, equals 81. X is going to be 9. Okay, so you might have to put some things together and then solve. If you have to put things together, I don't believe it's fractions or decimals. It's probably whole numbers. Probably whole numbers. Let me show you one more. Can I do one more? That you're going to have in your homework, and I want to make sure you have a good example. I have a question on this one every single year. R divided by 4 equals negative 25 plus 9. Yep. Yep. Time out. Time out. First thing we should do is put together what we can put together. Okay, so negative 25 plus 9, is it 16? Negative 16 equals, and then I have R divided by 4. Now, we've been talking about multiplication problems. This is a division problem. See what's happening? See, it's a division problem, R divided by 4. What can I do to undo division? Multiply. So let's multiply by 4. And I got to do it to both sides. Multiply by 4. I get 4, carry the 2, is 64. 64. Negative 64, R equals negative 64. So I think there's just one like this on your homework. That's it. But I know every year I have the same questions about it. Yeah, that's it. What's that? That it is. That it is. What questions do you all have for me?